Hey, how's it going, everyone? This is Print Practical. I just got a Ring Doorbell Pro, and unfortunately, the way that my current doorbell is situated by my front door, it's not really useful to use this doorbell unless I print out an adapter piece to pretty much turn it on an angle, so that way it faces outward from the door. So we're gonna go through the whole process, taking the old doorbell off, trying to design a bracket to fit the new one on, printing it, hopefully getting it right the first time, but probably not if it's like most of my designs. And I'm gonna bring you through the whole thing, so let's do it. Alright, so here's my crappy old doorbell. It's all broken, and I have a Ring Pro. So I want to make a mount that's gonna kind of hold it here at a little bit of an angle. So that's the goal. I guess I'll take some measurements and then figure out what to do here. First, I gotta disconnect the power so this doesn't work anymore. Don't want to electrocute myself. So let me go figure that out, and then we'll get to it. All right, fun. Nothing's labeled here except for like all the appliances. I'm guessing it's gonna be on like a 15 ampere, so I'm just gonna start flicking and trying. Nice, got it on the first try. All right, classic. So let's see how much wire we have here to play around with. Well, looks like that's all the wire I have. So if I wanted to wrap it up here like I wanted to, it's gonna be a pretty tight fit. I think I might have to extend these a bit. So, all right, I'm gonna unscrew this and then we'll get back to it. All right, so looking at this again, connect the terminals, and if I keep it off of this side here and kind of keep it angled like that, I think the wires will be long enough. So I'll probably design a bracket to be like that. So this is totally flush with the wall. I don't know, I'm gonna look for like maybe a 10 to 15 degree angle there. And we'll see. I'm gonna go to drawing up the bracket now. All right, so set up all the parameters. Let's start drawing. Let's see what we can do. So I'm gonna draw starting on where the old doorbell was mounted. So we know that this is, I think we said it was 56.5 millimeters, which we said for that variable. It was the doorbell. Was it the doorbell width? Yeah. Okay. Doorbell width, and then we want the mount to be as high as the actual Ring doorbell itself. So we're gonna do the ring height. All right. So now we want to extrude this out from the wall, and we want this to be extruded. We want this to be extruded out the width of the ring. So we want to extrude this out, and we want to extrude this to the width of the ring. So if I were to, drill holes in here and mount the ring to the front of this here, then, you could just have this basic block as the mount. So next, I'm gonna use the same screws that I took out of the doorbell to mount this mount back onto the wall. So I have those screws here, and of course they are different sizes. So I'm just gonna make these more general. So first of all, I'm gonna start a sketch, and we're gonna start it on this side here, and we want to counter bore these holes. Because the old doorbell wasn't that thick. I can actually just see on this one screw how thick the doorbell is because it's dirty, because it was in the wall, and then it was clean when it was on the doorbell. So I am going to first of all measure the head of these screws, and this one is 6.8 millimeters. This one is 7.8, so an 8 millimeter hole. 8 millimeter bore will be fine. So I'm just going to throw the 2 points down. Or actually, I'm going to throw 2 circles down. And what did I say? 8 millimeter. I'm just going to make this 8.25 just in case. And then I am going to just copy this circle and put one right here. We're going to constrain it so that they're vertically constrained. That way we know 100% they're in line with each other. And then we are going to set our distance here, which is the... I think I can just open my parameters, list parameters, yeah. And this is the doorbell hole spacing. Okay, so we have that. I'm gonna draw a line between these two. And because of that, I can actually center them with this horizontal constraint. So I can center this line to here, and that'll bring the holes down to the center. And then we also have to bring this line over to be whatever our hole offset was. Doorbell hole offset. There we go. Okay, so I want to counterbore these so that there's the same thickness from the wall side of the old doorbell. So let me see. We're gonna say about 10 millimeters. Yeah, that'll give it enough. I could always switch screws if I need to. So we want to extrude this, and we want to cut it into. We want to cut the bore into the mount, but we don't want to go the full width, or the hole's going to pop out the other side. So we want to go the ring width minus 10 millimeters, and that'll be our bore. So now I can go, and you can see that there's just a hole that stops 10 millimeters away from the wall. And then we're going to start a new sketch on that plane. And let's see how thick these screws are. About 2.81. So we're going to make a 3 millimeter hole. All right. So now we have a 3 millimeter hole there, and we can extrude that all the way through. Once again, we want to cut, and then we can just do 2 next, which will cut the remaining way through. And now these are what are going to hit the wall. And this is our counter bore, so we can fit a screwdriver in there, and we can tighten those up. Okay, so next, we should put the mounting holes for the ring. So we're gonna start a sketch on this surface, and I think, yeah, I brought the screws here that they include with the ring, so that I can measure them and see what we got here. Okay, so these are pretty deep. These are pretty deep screws. Let me measure how much of this comes out of the ring. Just a rough estimate, like 25. 25 millimeters comes actually through the ring. I was measuring just with this screw in there and how much the screw actually comes out from the base of the ring. It's about 25 millimeters. And then I'm just going to measure the diameter of this screw, which is like 2.5-ish. So I'm going to make it 2.25. It's more kind of like a pilot hole. The reason why I'm doing that is because, I really want this to grip into the plastic. I don't want the device to fall off. I'm just realizing that we don't want to do this yet. So scratch that. And this is like one of the things that I was trying to say about this channel is like, I'm going to try and keep this as uncut as possible. So when I mess up and stuff, it's just going to be part of the video. It just shows that, things aren't perfect the first time. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a sketch on the top. And I'm going to draw this line out here. And I'm going to have it meet that surface. But I want it to be... let's see. They're saying this is 90 degrees. So we want this to be 90 plus our ring angle. So we're going to cut this off the front here. We're going to cut it to next. And that's going to give us our angle. Okay. Now, let's see. We can start our sketch on this face. And we're going to make two, we said what, 2.25 millimeter holes. Okay. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to define the spacing. That's not what I named it. Mount hole spacing. Okay. Also, I forgot that I defined these. Oh, which I made them 2. You know what? That's fine. I will do that. But now I'm going to do the same thing I did last time, where I draw a line between these two and I center it within the face of... There we go. And then we also just want it to be center on here. which it is. And then we are going to extrude. Oh, we are going to extrude this. And we're going to extrude this. And we are going to cut, and I said 25 millimeters. And let me just look while it's highlighting that. Okay, so it's not touching any of the other holes. That's good. All right. So now we could mount this on the wall, but the problem is we need to run the wires to the ring. So my plan is that I'm just going to hollow out this block, and just leave space for the wires to be there. All right, so I didn't come up with a solution to do it the way that I wanted to, but there's an alternative. So what I did was I just drew a 25 by 25 rectangle and centered all that, and then I extended it down another 10 millimeters. So that way, if we sweep it over to the other side for the ring, everything should line up pretty well. So we're going to finish out the sweep. We already have the profile for it. So we're going to create a sketch on this plane that runs through the middle of it. And I'm going to view the slice graphics so I can look at the actual structure from the inside. I'm going to draw a line, and let me see where the middle of this thing is. I'm actually going to tilt it a tiny bit just so I can see. Okay. So I tilted it, found the middle, and I believe right here is where the other rectangle starts. So I'm just going to draw my line that's in line with it. And then I'm going to draw another line from there to there. I'm going to make sure it is perpendicular to both faces. Hold on. Let me restart over here. Let me just draw a line and draw a line. And this is not, there we go. Let me make sure that that's the center. It's not even the center. Okay. All right. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to edit this sketch here. And I'm literally just going to throw a point at the center of this thing, just so I can reference it in my new sketch. Once again, I am not trained to be 3D drawing at all. So, I'm sure there's a million different ways to do this better. Wow, I can't even get it to stick to it. That's a little bit annoying. Oh, there we go. Okay, so I'm just going to draw this line out to the middle of nowhere. And then I am going to run it to the center of this. And hopefully that is the center. That looks pretty good. Cool. So now I am going to make this perpendicular with this perpendicular with this. And I seem to have lost the line. Okay. Well, in order to pass this, I mean, once again, not very, this is not really the best way of doing it, but 16.5. You know, you got to do what you got to do to get things done. So I am just going to make sure that this is 16.5 away from the top. And then we are going to draw a circle. And we're going to make this do a nice curve. I don't know why that showed up. Anyway, yeah, we're going to make this tangent with both lines. And then we can trim up to just make it a nice smooth curve. And now we should be able to loft this, or sweep it. So we're going to sweep that for the path. We're going to pick this path here. We're going to cut. Boom. And that makes a nice hollow section right through the mount. So that pretty much finishes the mount. So I'm gonna try and print this out, and then I will get some more footage of the install and, you know, any mess ups, and then back to the drawing board. We'll see. So I'm gonna stop this recording. Next thing you'll see is slicing it to see how long this is gonna take. It's probably gonna be a while, unfortunately. But I'll see you there. Alright, so here we are in the slicer. I think this is the best orientation for it. I know my printer can bridge this gap. So printing without supports there will be okay. The only thing that I think we need supports for is this section here. So let's see. Printing at 0.2 layer height. I had this on 100, but I should probably put it back to 60. And let's just see without supports what it says it's going to take. 5 hours. Okay, that's not bad. Now, let's turn on supports, and I'm going to do a tree support that is touching the build plate. And let's see what this looks like. So the inside of this probably is going to look really good. But what I am worried about is the holes. I want to make sure that the holes don't have support in them. The small holes for the ring, and it does not look like they do. So that's exactly what I want. So that's perfect. Okay, cool. So I think that's what I want. So I am going to print this out, and 6 hours later, I'll try and fit it up, and we'll see. We'll see what it does. I got to go back outside, tape up the wires and stuff so I can turn the power on. But I don't want anybody coming up to the door and touching wires and stuff. So while this is happening, maybe I'll go downstairs. I think the Ring comes with a small pack that you have to put in the transformer for the doorbell. So I might as well do that while the power's off. I'll flip the power back on in 6 hours. We'll see. So I'll check in later. So just wanted to check back in. One thing I did notice is that when I sliced it before, I was only doing a 10% infill. So that would have probably made it pretty darn weak. So I'm gonna increase the infill to be 20%, and that'll make it a little stronger. I'm also going to increase the wall thickness just so that the walls around the screws and stuff are a little thicker. I could use support blockers to modify the settings there in Cura, but it won't hurt to do it for the whole print. I don't think it's going to add much time. Right now we're looking at 8 hours now, which kind of sucks because I was looking to hopefully install this today. But let's do a 4-line wall count, and let's see how much that increases the time. Wow. I did not expect that to add, an additional hour and 30 minutes to the print. Let's see what this does. 8 hours and 46 minutes. Yeah. So it adds about an additional hour per thickness of the line. Well, I will probably do it because this is going to start, I'm already hitting, it's 5 p.m. here, and it's a 7-hour print, so it's already going to be in the middle of the night. So I'm going to increase this wall count, and it's going to bump it up to almost a 10-hour print, but, I'm thinking that'll help out in both these screw areas and in these screw areas and make it a little stronger, a little more rigid. So now I'm going to start the print. 10 hours. Here we go. Let's do it. So here's my doorbell. And Ring gives you this little brick here with 2 wires. And they want you to screw it in the front and the transformer. So I'm going to do that right now, and I will check in a second. All right, that's all hooked in. Now I'm going to go check the instructions to make sure I didn't just do anything stupid. Then I'm going to put the cover back on and tape up the outside and then turn the power back on. All right, we're all taped up until tomorrow. All right, it's the next day, and here's the finished mount. I'm actually really impressed with this. So it sits pretty darn flush against the wall, so it looks really good. The only thing I didn't test is the spacing between these 2 holes, which we'll just find out naturally. Sitting the Ring on top of this, I mean, the holes just line up perfectly. So very, very impressed. It's time to shut off the power, hook it up. All right, so I put the extension cables on that Ring provides. Next thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna screw on the mount, and then I'll check back in. All right, the mount is on. It's secure. And now I'm going to connect the Ring and screw it on. There we go. She's fully mounted. And let me turn the power back on.
most advanced doorbell. Follow the instructions in the Ring app to continue.
All right, looks like she's working. I'm gonna set her up and then show you the final product. All right, and there's the finished product. My ring that's mounted with a 3D printed bracket at a 10-degree angle. I will put a screenshot of what it looks like from the camera. I do notice that you see a decent amount of this wall. So maybe I will print another one in a silver to kind of match the body of the ring and at a steeper angle. But overall, I call this a success. Until next time.